Hey folks and friends, welcome to this little video where I'm gonna explain you my new setup and talk about the reasons why I did this. So first of all, what is new? The most obvious thing you probably have already seen in my latest videos are those cymbals. I will do an in-depth review of the cymbals with all their pros and cons in some days a week. First of all, I have to check them really out, like test them in different situations, tweak some settings within the module in Superior Drummer. I already made one video about this, the Pearl Jam live drum cover. You may check this out. Just click on the little info box in the top right corner. To the specs, this is the 16-inch brass cymbal, a dual zone crash from Jobeky, like their standard one. Here on the right side we have the 18-inch dark bronze series, which reminds me of the Meinl dark series, to be honest. Looks gorgeous. It's a dual zone crash as well, 18-inch. And this little boy here is the 20-inch 3-zone ride cymbal. I didn't choose to pick the hi-hat from Jobeky because I know from some research and talking to some guys and like reading the specs from the Jobeky hi-hat that they use the Roland VH11 controller, which is fine basically, but for me the hi-hat are the most crucial and key instrument on the whole drum set, and Roland hands down has the best technique still, especially when using virtual instruments. I don't want to make any compromise, and I know that the Jobeky hi-hat, I spoke to Luke Oswald from Drum Angle and to Jason Ozon from Beats by Jay. I know not having issues really, but still maybe it's just 80-85% of the triggering results that a Roland VH12 or 13 will give you. So I wanted to stick with that. Maybe I'm gonna try the new ATV 14-inch cymbal, which looks quite exciting, to be honest. I will check them out in the next weeks and maybe I will grab one of them. I know this look really doesn't fit to the rest of the cymbal, but that's okay for me because most of the people know that this is an electronic drum set, so it's fine for me. And at the end of the day, it's more about my musicality and the trigger results I get. So I trust my trustworthy VH12. The rest is pretty much the same. You already know my drum set, the Silver Sparkle Basix drum set, which I converted last year. If you haven't checked the video, what I did with the conversion and all the cost, I made a video about this. Check on the info box in the top right corner again, so you can check the video. And the third thing is I sold my drum rack and most of my Roland stuff already, and I switched to cymbal stands, which I think looks way more cool. The whole drum set has even more a natural feeling for me right now due to the cymbals, to the sizes. Everything is more shaking right now because you see the rack tom is mounted to the bass drum. The snare is quite some shaking sometimes, but for me, as a former acoustic drummer, this is like more a natural feeling. I feel more at home right now and feel more comfortable. So I really like this setup. And last thing, the module. I switched from the TD30 to the TD20X. Last year, as I said, I sold everything because I wanted to kind of like build everything new from scratch and like wanted to push the reset button because I knew I couldn't afford those cymbals and having still my Roland cymbals, so I had to sell them. And in the same approach, I sold my TD30 because I wanted to start something new without knowing if I may grab another TD30 again. But I think for my purposes, just triggering pads for Superior Drummer, the TD30 is maybe kind of over-engineered, if I may use this term. No, seriously, the TD20X gives me exactly the same results. And all the benefits you have from the TD30, which about the internal sounds, the USB feature and all the things, this is all something I don't need really. So last year already I wanted to grab a TD20X, but I didn't find one, so I grabbed a TD30 at Drum-Tec last year. But this module for triggering, for me, just for triggering Superior Drummer, Easy Drummer, virtual instruments is fair enough and it's way more cheap. Because the money I saved from selling all the stuff and just buying the basic setup or building up the basic setup, I will put into some treatment of my room here. This is has still too much reverb on this in this room right now. I will buy some additional treatment, will get myself some new decent studio monitors, because I wanted to really dive into the mixing even more and create this like more of a real studio. But I really feel comfortable with the setup. As I said, it feels more natural for me as a drummer. This basic setup is not kind of limiting myself. It's exactly the opposite. It's like being more creative when you just have two toms and two crash cymbals. Maybe I will add another, maybe a splash or a China cymbal, because I know Jobeky is working on some Chinas as well, and they already have some splash cymbals. So maybe I will add one of those. But this basic setup, I don't have the feeling that I cannot express myself or can hardly play a song on this basic setup. Maybe it's not in the air tonight, because then I will need 5 or 6 toms, but like the most songs I have in my head that I want to play and cover the next time, I can do with this setup. Second reason is based on tune track libraries, basically. When you have some of them, you see most of them or many of the libraries just have 2 toms and 1 or 2 crash cymbals. Of course, you can add stuff by using the X-Drum feature or the stack feature right now. You can tune toms differently. That's what Luke Oswald's doing when he just uses a library with 2 toms. He tunes one of the included toms quite higher than the opposite, so we have kind of like a tonal balance between the highest and the lowest tom. But most of the sets drum-tec samples comes with 2 toms. So with this setup, I do not have to limit myself when it comes to my several libraries. I can play them all right now, just the way they were produced to be used in this case. Yeah, that was pretty much it. That was the reasons, or maybe the new setup I did. I'm pretty much happy. The only thing I will change additionally is I will change my floor tom here on the right side. This is the 14x14, and I was so lucky to find another one in the same finish, which is quite, as I said, I was quite lucky, because you barely find this finish anyway. So I found a guy he's willing to sell me just his 16-inch floor tom. So I will have the classical setup with 22, 12, and 16, and my trusty 14x5.5 snare drum. So that's pretty much it. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions about my new setup, about the module, the reasons behind this, leave your comment below. I will try to answer everyone. Thanks so far for watching, and see you in a few, guys. Bye bye.